You ever wonder if your testosterone levels are actually low or if you're just getting older? So you've put on some extra weight, you're dragging through the day, and let's be honest, your sex drive took a nosedive and never pulled up. I'm a former special agent ER doc, husband, and dad of four, so I know how life can wear you down and how easy it is to chalk it up to normal aging. But what if it's not just age? What if your testosterone is quietly tanking and there's actually a simple fix? Let's break down the real signs of low T that most guys miss, and more importantly, what to actually do about it. So, sign number one, you're tired all the time. You're sleeping 7 to 8 hours, maybe even sneaking in naps on weekends, but you still feel like you're dragging a boulder around all day. Ever wonder why? It's like you're trying to run a gas-powered engine on low-grade fuel. Everything technically works, you're eating and sleeping and trying to stay active, but you've lost the zip. It's the same feeling I used to get after night shifts in the ER, like your body's on, but your brain forgot to plug in. And it's not just physical tiredness. Your mind feels foggy too. You walk into a room and you forget why. You reread the same email 5 times. It's like your brain's in low power mode. Testosterone plays a big role in your body's energy systems, especially when it comes to how your body uses oxygen, builds mitochondria, your cells' energy factories, and recovers from stress. According to a 2010 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, men with low testosterone reported significantly more fatigue and poor quality of life, even when they slept normal hours. Another thing most guys don't know, low testosterone can mess with the sleep quality itself. So, you might be sleeping long enough, but not getting the deep restorative stages that your body actually needs. Low T has been linked to reduced REM sleep and increased nighttime waking, so you think you're resting, but you're not actually recovering. So, if you're waking up tired, staying tired, and needing caffeine just to function, don't blame your age. Your hormones might be waving a big red flag, and if that sounds like you, just wait till we get into what it does to your sex drive. Sign number 2, your sex drive is hiding, and erections are weaker. You're not in the mood like you used to be, and when you are, things don't quite fire up the way they used to. Sound familiar? It's like owning a high-performance motorcycle. Let's say a Triumph Bonneville, kind I used to ride. But now the throttle sticks, and the engine kind of sputters. You know what it should feel like when it runs right, but no matter what you do, it just won't roar like it did before, if you know what I mean. And you tell yourself, maybe it's just stress, maybe I'm just getting older, but deep down you know that something's off. You're not chasing your wife like you used to, and she notices, you notice. And honestly, it starts eating away at your confidence and eventually your relationship. Testosterone isn't just the sex hormone. It's the ignition switch for sexual desire, performance, and satisfaction. It helps regulate blood flow, nerve sensitivity, and mental arousal. When testosterone is low, all 3 of those take a hit. In fact, there was a 2008 study published in The Aging Male that showed a low testosterone is directly linked to both decreased libido and erectile dysfunction, even in men under 40, not just us old guys. Morning wood is another key indicator. You should wake up with an erection most days if your testosterone is where it should be. If that's gone missing, your body's waving a hormone flag or a cardiovascular issue flag. The tricky part, a lot of guys blame external stuff. Work stress, busy schedules, being tired. And sure, those things matter. But if your sex drive is consistently low and you're noticing weaker and fewer erections, testosterone is a big piece of that puzzle. And when your sex drive fades, it often drags something even more important down with it, your motivation. Your motivation to attack life, work, hobbies, goals, they all start feeling a little meh. So let's talk about that next. Sign number 3, you've lost your motivation. Ever find yourself staring at your to-do list and just not caring? You know what needs to be done, but you don't have the internal push to do it. It's like trying to ride uphill on a bike with a flat tire. You remember when you used to fly up those hills, whether it was crushing workouts, killing it at work, fixing stuff around the house, or jumping into new hobbies, and now everything feels like a chore. Even the stuff you used to enjoy feels kind of pointless. Back when I was traveling the world as a special agent, I was always in mission mode, focused and fired up. But during a rough stretch, I hit a wall. No drive, no spark. I thought I was just burnt out. Turned out, my testosterone was pretty low. No amount of trying harder fixes a hormonal deficit. Testosterone plays a huge role in dopamine function, the brain chemical tied to motivation and reward and drive. When T drops, dopamine response weakens. That's why low T doesn't just affect your body, it zaps your mental edge too. You might notice this drop in subtle ways. You stop setting goals, you avoid challenges, you're busy but not productive, you procrastinate more, or you get stuck in a loop of distraction, scrolling your phone, watching YouTube. Hey, at least this video's helping, but not doing anything that moves the needle. According to research, hormones and behavior, testosterone replacement in men with low T led to increased motivation, improved concentration, and greater life satisfaction. It isn't just about mood, it's about reclaiming the part of you that wants to do hard things. And while your drive is fading, something else is creeping in. Soft belly, shrinking arms, and that shirt that used to fit just fine. Yeah, that's the next sign. Sign number 4, you're getting softer. Muscles melting, belly's growing. You haven't changed your diet much, but you're still sort of active. So what is your gut growing and your arms looking flat? It's like your body switched from built Ford tough to dad bod deluxe without warning. You used to carry muscle without even trying, throw around a few bags of mulch, wrestle your kids, hit a few push-ups, and you were good. Now, your t-shirts are tight in the wrong places and soft where you used to be solid. And the worst part, even when you try to get back in shape, your body doesn't respond the way it used to. You hit the gym, clean up your eating, and scale barely moves. If that sounds familiar, testosterone is one of the main hormones that tells your body to build and preserve muscle and to burn fat, especially belly fat. When T drops, your muscle mass fades, especially in the legs and upper body, and fat storage, particularly visceral fat, starts climbing. This isn't just about looks. Visceral fat around the belly is metabolically active, meaning it pumps out inflammatory chemicals and estrogen, which further suppresses testosterone. It's this vicious cycle. Low T leads to more fat, leads to lower T. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that men with abdominal obesity were significantly more likely to have low testosterone and higher estrogen, and the worse the belly fat, the lower the T levels. And yeah, moobs, or man boobs, are real. Lower testosterone plus higher estrogen from body fat equals more chest fat and water retention. You're not just out of shape, your hormones are skewed. But there's one more sign that guys never see coming. It doesn't show up in the mirror, it shows up in your moods, reactions, and how you handle stress. So let's check that one next. Sign number 5, you're more emotional, you're more moody or irritable. Snapping at your wife, getting way too irritated with your kids over nothing, maybe even catching yourself tearing up at some random commercial. You used to be the rock, calm, collected, could handle chaos. Whether it was work or parenting or life throwing curveballs, now you're more reactive than a toddler who misses nap time. I've been there, yelling at the dishwasher like it insulted my mom. That's not you, that's chemistry. It sneaks up slowly, too. You chalk it up to stress, being busy, lack of sleep, but then you realize something's just off. Your fuse is shorter, you get down easier, and bouncing back feels like trying to get traction in mud. Here's what most guys don't realize. Testosterone doesn't just affect your muscles and libido, it also helps regulate mood, especially through its influence on serotonin, dopamine, and cortisol, which are your stress hormones. When testosterone is low, your emotional regulation system takes a big hit. A study in biological psychiatry found a strong link between low T and increased symptoms of depression, irritability, and emotional instability. Another in psychoneuroendocrinology shows that testosterone therapy reduced depressive symptoms in men with low levels. That means if you're feeling more anxious, more reactive, or just off, it might not just be your head. It might be in your blood. And here's the thing, most doctors don't connect emotional changes to testosterone. They'll write it off as stress or aging, but if the emotional volatility is new for you, it's time you take a deeper look. So now that we've hit the biggest signs, energy, sex drive, motivation, muscle, and mood, what can you actually do about it? Let's get into the action steps that help raise testosterone naturally and get you feeling like you again. Now, if any of those signs hit home and you're ready to fix this right away, check out my Built for Life Men's Health course. It covers all of this and more step by step, no fluff. I'll drop you the link in the description if you want to dig deeper. But for now, let's talk about what you can start doing today to turn this around. Action step number 1, lift heavy things and do it often. So why does this work? Lifting heavy weights is one of the most powerful natural stimulators of testosterone production, especially compound movements like squats, deadlifts, bench press, and rows. These exercises hit large muscle groups, creating mechanical stress and triggering the release of growth hormone and testosterone. Think of your body like a smart machine. It only builds what it thinks it needs. If you're not signaling the strength demands, your body assumes that muscle is not a priority. But when you challenge it with heavy resistance, your brain sends messages to the testes that we need more horsepower. That message is testosterone. So how does it work? Resistance training increases luteinizing hormone, or LH, the hormone that tells your testes to produce testosterone. It also improves insulin sensitivity, reducing inflammation and encouraging muscle tissue to soak up all of that sugar and glucose more efficiently, all of which help support healthy hormone function. One study from European Journal of Applied Physiology showed that significant acute rise in testosterone following resistance training, especially in younger and middle-aged men. And when paired with good recovery, more on that later, the effect builds over time. So how do you start? You don't need to become a bodybuilder. Start with 3 full-body sessions per week. Focus on big movements like squats, deadlifts, bench press, push-ups, pull-ups or rows, overhead press. Keep the reps in the 5 to 10 range and the weights heavy enough that the last rep feels like a challenge, but don't get sloppy. And here's a bonus tip. Skip the long cardio sessions. Too much endurance training, especially without proper fuel, can actually lower testosterone over time. Stick to lifting, walking, and maybe 1 short sprint session per week. Now that you're building the stimulus for testosterone, let's make sure that your body actually has the raw materials and environment to produce it. That starts with one of the most overlooked factors: sleep. So that brings us to action step number 2. Sleep like a grown man. Why does this work? You can train like a beast and eat clean, but if your sleep sucks, you're just digging a deeper hole. Sleep is when your body actually makes testosterone, and missing even a couple hours of sleep per night wrecks your levels fast. How does this work? Testosterone is primarily produced during sleep, non-REM sleep, especially in the first half of the night. If you're not getting into that deep sleep consistently, or you're waking up often, or your testosterone never gets a chance to rise. One famous study from Journal of American Medical Association, also known as JAMA, found that just 1 week of sleeping only 5 hours per night caused a 10 to 15% drop in daytime testosterone levels, and that was in healthy young men. That's after just a week. Now imagine that stretched out over months or years. Poor sleep also raises cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol and testosterone are kind of like a seesaw. When cortisol is high, testosterone drops. So if you're sleeping poorly and stressed all the time, you've got double whammy working against you. So how do you start? Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Yes, even if you're busy, you can't out-hustle broken hormones. Keep regular schedule, sleep and wake at the same time daily, even on weekends, and lock in your circadian rhythm. Black out your room. Light blocks melatonin production, which affects deep sleep. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask if needed. And then cut screens 1 hour before bed. Blue light crushes melatonin. Read books, stretch, journal, or just chill in low light. There's been some more recent studies that show it's not necessarily the blue light, but actually the stimulation from TVs and computers and cell phones that does this. Things that keep your mind very stimulated. You need to cut those out at least an hour before bed. And then cool down your room. 65 to 68 degrees is ideal for testosterone boosting sleep. A warm room equals shallow sleep and lower testosterone production. And here's a bonus tip. If you snore heavily, wake up gasping, or feel wiped out even after 8 hours, get checked. Get checked for sleep apnea. It's incredibly common in men over 40, especially if you're carrying extra weight, and it will wreck your testosterone. So, you're lifting heavy and finally sleeping like a pro. Now it's time to talk about the other thing that's silently draining your T every day, your belly fat. So action step number 3, lose the belly, especially the visceral fat. Why does this work? That stubborn belly fat isn't just extra insulation, it's an active hormone factory, and the hormones it makes, they're working against your testosterone. If you've got a gut that's growing, your T is already under attack. So how does this work? You see, visceral fat, that's the deep fat that wraps around your organs and produces enzymes called aromatase, which converts testosterone into estrogen. That's right, your belly is literally turning your man hormone into a woman hormone. More estrogen equals less testosterone, and less testosterone means more fat gain. So it's this vicious cycle, but one that you can actually break. In fact, a study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that each 1-point increase in BMI was associated with a 2% decrease in testosterone. So if you're 20 pounds overweight, you're likely carrying significantly less T than you should be. But here's the good news. Losing even 10 to 15 pounds of fat can cause testosterone levels to rebound naturally, sometimes by 100 to 200 points. That's without medications or injections. So how do you start? Cut out ultra-processed foods first. Chips, fast food, sugary drinks. These spike insulin, raise inflammation, and feed visceral fat. Eat protein at every meal. Aim for about 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. That's about 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight for those not in the US. Protein keeps you full and it preserves muscle. Walk daily. Yes, just walking. Aim for 8 to 10,000 steps. It's the simplest, most underrated fat loss tool out there. Strength train. See step number 1, to tell your body to keep muscle and burn fat. Track your waistline, not just your weight. Belly inches matter more than pounds on the scale. Muscle weighs more than fat, so you could be gaining muscle and losing fat and your weight still staying the same or going up. We've talked about it before. So here's a bonus tip. Measure your waist at the belly button. If it's more than half your height in inches, it's time to get serious about this. For example, if you're 6 feet tall, which is 72 inches, your waist should be under 36 inches. You're building muscle, sleeping better, and shrinking the gut. Now let's talk about one more essential input your body needs to make testosterone: sunlight and vitamin D. So, action step number 4, get more sunlight and optimize your vitamin D levels. Why it works? Well, vitamin D isn't just a bone health vitamin, it's actually a hormone precursor, and your body needs it to produce testosterone. And guess where most guys over 35 are at with their vitamin D? Low, really low. How does this actually work? Well, vitamin D plays a key role in testosterone synthesis by affecting Leydig cells in the testes, the very cells that manufacture your testosterone. So, low levels of vitamin D equals less raw material equals a lower testosterone output. Also, vitamin D helps regulate calcium metabolism, immune function, and inflammation, all of which indirectly support healthier testosterone production. It's like the behind-the-scenes crew that makes sure the whole hormone production stage runs smoothly. A study produced in Hormone and Metabolic Research found that men who took 3,000 international units of vitamin D daily for 12 months experienced a 25% increase in testosterone levels compared to the placebo group. That's a huge bump from a simple supplement or a little sun exposure. So, how should you get started? Get sunlight daily, 15 to 30 minutes of midday sun around 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get it on your arms, chest, back, and without sunscreen. This helps your body make vitamin D naturally. Supplement smart. If you can't get sun or it's winter, take 2,000 to 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily with a fat-containing meal for better absorption. Also, test your levels. Ideal range is 40 to 70 nanograms per milliliter. Ask your doctor to order the labs or order them on your own. Most guys I see are in the low 20s, which is way too low for optimal testosterone production. Pair that with some magnesium and vitamin K2, which help with absorption, and make sure the vitamin D that you take gets into your cells but not into your arteries. Bonus tip, get outside barefoot when you can. Grounding, also known as earthing, reduces inflammation and stress, which supports testosterone and mood too. Might sound a little woo-woo, but it's backed by some emerging research, small studies, but the results are pretty positive. Now that your body's got the building blocks, strength, sleep, fat loss, vitamin D, there's one more daily habit that keeps it all working, and that is stress control. So action step number 5, you need to crush chronic stress before it crushes you. So why does this work? Chronic stress is like a slow drip poison for your testosterone. You might not feel it day to day, but if you are always on, you're always wired or anxious or just mentally fried, your testosterone is taking a daily hit. How does this work biologically? Well, when you're under stress, whether it's from work, money, family, or just modern life, your body produces more cortisol, your primary stress hormone. And cortisol is a direct testosterone antagonist, meaning when your cortisol goes up, your testosterone goes down. This isn't just a short-term issue. If your body thinks it's constantly in this fight or flight mode, it diverts resources away from sex hormone production and towards survival. Your brain basically says we've got bigger problems than building muscle and chasing the wife around, shut down testosterone factory, and start building our stress hormones. A study in Stress, the International Journal of Biology of Stress, showed that men with elevated cortisol had significantly lower testosterone throughout the day, even when they weren't physically ill or overtrained, just mentally overloaded. So how do you start? Do a daily brain dump. Write down what's bothering you. It sounds simple, but it clears the mental clutter fast and it allows you to decrease your cortisol and stress hormones. Number 2, get outside. Even 10 minutes in nature drops your cortisol. Do it barefoot if you can to get bonus points, and you also get more vitamin D while you're out there. Next, breathe. Deep, slow nasal breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6, can lower cortisol in under 2 minutes. Next, cut doom scrolling and media overload. 24/7 bad news and social media fights crank up stress and you don't even realize you're absorbing it. Next, lift heavy, walk daily. Yes, again, exercise helps your body use up excess stress hormone. Here's a bonus tip. Add in some cold exposure, a cold shower or a 2-minute cold plunge. It shocks the nervous system, it trains stress resilience, and it boosts norepinephrine, which helps regulate both mood and testosterone. So here's where you're at. You've got the map. Lift heavy, sleep hard, shrink the gut, get sun, manage stress. These aren't hacks. They're how your body was meant to actually function. And when you stack them, you create momentum that gets your testosterone and your life back on track. So, look, you don't need to settle for low energy and low drive and a body that's falling apart before your time. You just need the right framework, one that actually works for real men with real lives. If you want to take this deeper, I built something just for you, and it's called the Built for Life Men's Health Course. It's everything we talked about in this video and a whole lot more, because there's so much more that ties all of this together that you need to learn. We go step by step through how to optimize fat loss that sticks, muscle building without living your life in the gym, natural testosterone boosting using proven strategies, mental clarity and emotional resilience, better sex, stronger relationships, and something most plans totally miss, your life mission. Because when your body is firing but your purpose is off, nothing's gonna stick. It's all intertwined. This isn't another bro science course. It's built from my years as a military special operator, a special agent, and an ER doctor, and it's made for real men juggling jobs, families, and responsibilities. And if you're the kind of guy who wants more personalized guidance, we can also work together one-on-one. We'll go through your labs, dig into your habits, and create a custom game plan to get you where you want to go faster and without the guesswork. The links are in the description and the comments. Choose the path that fits. The course for a full system or one-on-one if you want that extra level of support. And hey, if you've made it this far, I got a free gift for you. It's a simple testosterone boosting checklist. You can download it right now to get started today. Watch this if you believe every man should be allowed one hobby that makes absolutely no sense to his wife. Until next time, gents, keep moving.